sound funny. I used to lie out on the beach, close my eyes, may there be a pretty girl lying in the sand next to me.
guys are enjoying the music. We've got Daniel. Danny's sound. He got many monitors, but he's right here in the studio with us today. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing great.
So, Danny, please tell us about yourself. Who are you, and what got you into producing music?
Well, I am Danny. I make music under the name of Beet. I live in Leiden. That's a city around half an hour below Amsterdam. When I was younger, I used to DJ drum and bass and jungle, and that's the thing that got me into music production because, yeah, at a certain point, I just wanted to make those crazy sounds and wanted to make my own tracks. And then a friend of mine had a copy of Fruity Loops from me. It was my friend Banda. Then he gave it to me, and we started experimenting with it for a few years, just fucking around, not releasing anything. And then after a certain point, I started to get the hang of it, and getting to know more artists, getting to know more music, getting to know more people who were into music. Yeah, it always kept me going. And then at a certain point, an email from Dust and Wax came in to put something out on their label, and at that point, yeah, things were pretty serious. And
Let's talk about your new album, though, Slow Motion. Now, I've listened to this thing over and over and over again. I'm getting the vibes. I'm loving what it's having on it. I feel that it has a very melancholic and nostalgic feel to it, especially the song Secret Meeting 4. And I think it has to do with the fact that the saxes are so up front. They're not overtaking anything, but they're very prevalent in Secret Meeting 4. Is that something that you intentionally wanted to do? Did you want to infuse it with that nostalgic, melancholy sound? Or is that just something that happened as you were producing it?
It just happened because when I was looking around for samples on vinyl records or soundtracks, or when I was watching a movie and you hear a nice sound in the soundtrack, just stop the movie, find the soundtrack, sample it, make a beat, and then watch the rest of the movie a few days later. When you hear a sound and it hits something in you, then I want to use it. And most of the time, it are those nostalgic and old sounding sounds that have soul in them and that touch me.
When it comes to the vibe and the concept of the album, what were you trying to come across when you were making it?
I really wanted to set the vibes you're having when you're chilling on the beach. Time becomes an abstract thing. You hear sounds around you, but you don't really know where they're coming from. They're also muted a bit. You hear the sea behind you, the waves.
The ambience.
And I wanted to take that vibe into the music. And normally when I'm making music, all these images start to pop up in my head. It can be images from holidays when I was younger, things in nature, all kinds of things, movies. I really wanted to catch, and when I was making these tracks, these kind of images on the beach started to pop up. And once I catch that vibe, I wanted to make a full album with that concept, just the ambience of the sea and the beach and the timelessness.
Because every time I listen to Secret Meeting V4, I just picture sitting on a chair on the beach with a beer in my hand, watching the waves go by at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's the essence of a good evening.
Yeah, right. That's always a good sign. So you mentioned getting into old movies, old albums, all that good stuff. What classic albums or old school vinyl did you sample while working on this?
Well, I have this spot in Leiden where I picked up my secondhand vinyl, my old vinyl, the ones nobody wants. And there used to be a big jazz collection there. And one day this loaded rich Chinese guy walked in and he bought the entire jazz collection from that store. So I felt a bit shitty about that at first because I had to find a new spot to dig for vinyl. But it also gave me a chance to look around more, and then I found French pop music from any time basically. It's so rich in instruments and has such a good vibe laying over it. So I've been sampling a lot of French artists.
Anyone in particular?
Charles Aznavour.
Oh, yes, of course. It's Charles Aznavour. I know everyone knows Charles Aznavour.
Everybody knows him.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, he is pretty popular because it's so rich in instruments, and it has that Saint-Tropez kind of vibe in it with the violins, and sounds rich, not in sound, but also it's very classy and rich in vibes.
I wanted to know, because I feel, knowing that you're coming from this old school breakbeat, D&B jungle vibe, how much of an influence was DJ Shadow on this album?
Funny thing, yesterday I went to a festival and DJ Shadow was playing there, and it was the first time I ever saw him play. And I know him for a long time. Of course, I know him from Introducing, which is one of my favorite albums.
Of course, classic.
And now he mixed up the old tunes with new trap and future bass kind of influences. And as I was standing there, I heard some of the old melodies and was like, damn, it's close. It's getting closer to what I'm doing. And so that basically answers the question. It's not something I'm really aware of. I'm not thinking about DJ Shadow constantly when I'm making the album, but it's like, you know, Amon Tobin, Bonobo, all these guys are installed in your basic system, and you have your influences. You can never go without influences. You're always under influence.
Right. Once they're in there for good.
Yeah, they're in there for good. So, and DJ Shadow is one of those guys as well. So, yeah, you could say that Introducing is always an influence on all my music. Yeah.
Right. And let me tell you something. There's definitely worse albums you could be influenced by.
Yeah, I heard a lot of them. Yeah. And I have to get used to the new DJ Shadow album as well. I like artists going in their own directions, of course. You know, creative freedom.
Anytime I hear a grain to build the steam, I forget the exact name. A grain of salt to build steam.
I don't know. Yeah, that track.
Something like that. You hear that, and instantly, within the first 2 seconds, oh, you're like, this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be planning to do more albums based around the elements like you did with this? Maybe something with a volcano or fire or wind or mountains?
Maybe mountains, but I'm not planning to do like concept album for the elements of the 4 elements of this planet.
Not yet.
It was more like the vibe, like the vibe from the ocean, from the beach. I want to put that in the music. But I'm not necessarily looking to do concepts for elements. Just I have to wait till a new idea or concept pops up.
For sure. When inspiration strikes, you'll know. Just like that.
Yeah.
Danny, thanks so much for joining us. Go ahead and tell everyone where they can reach you and when the album's coming out.
Well, you can say on SoundCloud, Beet. You can go to Facebook, facebook.com/I like Beet, if you like Beet. The album is planned to be released by the 18th on Chill Records.
Awesome. So all those that want it, grab it. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. We put it on everything. Thanks for joining us, buddy. We'll have you all on real soon. And for now, let's get back to the music.